Books, and with Halloween less than 2 weeks away, we've got some spooky reads for the family.
Yeah, here with us now is Lori Fazio from RJ Julia Booksellers, and we're going to talk about our own book club that you can get in on, but we also have some creepy crawly favorites for everybody. Welcome.
I love a good,
hello.
Hi, I love a good spooky book.
Yeah, well, so I brought 2 different age groups, and then I brought one that's not quite so spooky, and then one that's really spooky for each age group. So we'll start with this one here. So there's a Ghost in This House by Oliver Jeffers. So this is the less spooky of the 2 books we're going to talk about. It's picture book. And what I love about this book is that there are translucent pages. It's about this little girl who's lived in this house for years.
This is cool.
So she's the only one that's like, you have some color there, and all the rest is in black and white. But there are translucent, and she's saying, someone says there's ghosts in this house, but I don't see them. But when you turn the translucent page, and it's going to be hard to see on the screen, but you see the ghosts there. In every room, she's like, I don't see them here. I don't see them there.
So fun.
And so, and they're chuckling, so they're not scary ghosts. So it's you know, it might be a little spooky.
Book.
It's a really beautiful, and Oliver Jeffers does. He writes it and he does the illustrations.
That's gorgeous. That's like a hand-me-down book that you would save.
Yeah, you can save it, and just every page, and they're laughing, and they're like they're under the bed, but they're sweet ghosts. So there's no scariness really about it.
Not scary.
But if you do, the creepiness is Creepy Crayon, and I know, you know, Caitlin, the producer, told me that Creepy Carrot, I think, is a favorite in her house with her kids, and Creepy Crayon is the new one. And this boy, he doesn't study for, you know, Rabbit, he doesn't study for his tests and spelling and whatever, but he finds this purple crayon, and all of a sudden, the purple crayon is spelling everything right, is drawing all these pictures, but the crayon is starting to possess him a little bit, and he's like, he tries to melt the crayon, he tries to flush the crayon, you know, and the crayon just reappears every day. But it teaches him to study so that the crayon doesn't come back. And so all of a sudden he's doing quite well, and he's really happy that it is a good message. But it does get a little creepy for a minute there.
If you just study for spelling, the creepy crayon will leave you alone.
It will, yeah.
Exactly. All right, so middle grade. So grade, you know, ages, I mean, a really good reader at 6, but really 8 to 12. So Fright Nights, this is a series. There's like 4 in this book. It's paperback. This is The Haunted Mustache. So it's silly. You'll laugh. There's a teeny bit of creepiness because it's Halloween and whatever. It's a little haunted, but they're more like mysteries. And so kids can like them and get a little bit of that sense of the mystery, but you laugh too, so it's silly. The Haunted Mustache, they're trying to figure it out. It's taking over the town, but it's really nothing serious. But 8 to 12-year-olds that want a really creepy story should go with The Stars Did Wander, Darkling. So there's something going on in this town. This gets a little creepier, so that kid that really wants that spook and scare, this is the one for them. You don't want to have an 8 to 12-year-old who, you know, doesn't want the full, they're too scared.
My son would love that, but like, he wanted me to get him the book It, but that's a little adult. So that would be a good thing.
Well, you've heard me say before, I mean, I don't read Stephen King, so, but I mean, there are some kids that love that. And some adults that love that.
Well, it's like that little girl with that doll.
Right, with the doll.
The creepy doll.
I know, I was watching that segment.
I know.
No
she
way.
She might like these books.
Nope, not for me. And I do want to talk about, so Diwali starts next week. And so we've got this great picture. It is a beautiful, and what I love about this book, it's so colorful, it's so pretty. But they talk about, they'll say something, you know, Mendy for you, and then there's a little thing at the bottom that tells you what that is. So they go through all the, you know, the different things that are all about Diwali, and then at the bottom of the pages it gives you a little definition of what that actually is. So great way for those even not celebrating to read this with their kids and have them understand, you know, this holiday that starts next week. And it's a beautiful book.
Well, I mean, Diwali is a beautiful celebration, so very nice. And let's talk about book club.
Yeah, so we're reading Mad Honey. It's a novel, Jodi Picoult, and she co-wrote this with Jennifer Finney Boylan, and I had the pleasure of emceeing the event where both of them came to, like, I'll say a sold-out crowd. It was like 500 people who came to Madison to see them. It was such a fun event.
It was a great
event.
event.
Learning how they co-wrote it, and that's a whole other story. But it's interesting because I find that you're learning a lot about bees and an apiary, but really it's a murder mystery and a love story that also explores issues. Can I say what issue?
Maybe not, because it'll give it away. But there's definitely a sense of being who you are, and definitely explores the LGBTQ world. So I made a couple of notes of things because we were discussing just the first 128 pages. Kara and I have both read the whole thing, so it's easy for us to give it away. But that's why I made some notes so that we don't do that.
Yep. Okay.
We get our characters, right? So we know Olivia, she is the apiary. She's the mom of Asher. Asher is being accused of murder of his girlfriend, Lily. So those are and we're not giving that away because that happens in the very first chapter.
Right away, yeah.
And then you've got, so Asher, his father, Braden, we find out that Olivia has been abused. Right, and so we found out why she and Asher leave.
Yeah.
And they leave Braden behind, and there's no contact with Braden. So all of this happens in the first chapter. And then Lily, we found out that Lily's a newcomer to the town, and her dad is not with them. It's her and her mom. Her dad always wanted a son, and she is not the son that he wanted. So this is all the things we find out, and we're learning, as you were saying, a lot about beekeeping, and she really weaves in, how bees. The queen comes and what they do and how they get the honey, and she relates it to everything that's going on in the story just at the right moments, I think.
Yeah, it's a page turner, and Jodi Picoult said that she loves to research things.
Oh, yeah.
So that was kind of cool. I guess she went and learned to be a beekeeper for this book.
Oh, fantastic.
It's a mystery, and it's fast, and it's fun reading, but you learn while you're reading it.
You do learn while you're reading, and so a few other characters that we will meet in the first 120 pages. Mike Newcomb, who's the town detective who has been there forever. So he knows Olivia because Olivia grew up there. Jordan McAfee, which is Olivia's brother, who's the lawyer. And we've seen Jordan in some of her other books. And then Dirk is Asher's best friend as a guy, and Maya is Asher's best friend as a girl. So these are all the characters that start to make their way as we're trying to figure out what's going on. And the chapters were written, Olivia's story goes forward, and Lily's stories go backwards. So you're finding out, as we're moving on in the trial, from Olivia's viewpoint, but Lily, who is the girl who's murdered, you're learning what led up to that day from reverse. So it's really, they alternate chapters. It's really
it sounds confusing, but it's not confusing to read. But it was interesting how the two of them actually didn't know each other.
I think you just sold. I want to pick this up now. This sounds great.
They're
really
both
good.
great authors, and I'll just say really quick, Jennifer Boylan woke up one morning and had a dream that she was writing a book with Jodi Picoult. She put that on Twitter, and Jodi
Talk
Picoult,
about manifesting.
Jodi Picoult said, "Hey, let's write a book." They did not know each other.
That's incredible.
That's how it was born.
And now, to watch their relation with each other, their
they're
energy,
BFFs.
you would think that they've known each other forever.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Lori,
it's
thank
great.
you so much.